I would ask everyone to stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's invocation is being offered by the Reverend Enoch Fuzz from the Corinthian Baptist Church. He is the guest of Council Member Scott Davis.
Let us pray. Lord, hear our prayer. Turn your ear toward us. And this great city that you builded, hear my prayer aloud for these great people, men and women whom you have instilled in a desire to help guide this city. Bless the leaders here. Cause the people of this city to feel their great sacrifice, to honor them. I pray for prosperity in the walls of this city, for peace in the streets of this city, for your divine blessings to shower over this city. Cause us to be a people who work together. Cause us to be a people who are friends and who strive to lift up good relationship. Bind us together like a chain maker, the links of the chain. Cause us to work together. Bless our efforts, O God. Bless Nashville. From Germantown to Goodlettsville, from Bordeaux to Belmead. Bless this city. Bless every community in it. Help us through the difficult things that happen, the tragedies. Give us the wisdom to make them our triumphs. Bless Nashville. Cause it to be renowned, that its people will be a blessing. Lord, you brought us good people, this city council. Bless every one of them and let them feel your blessings. And cause our people to honor them, to lift them up and to inspire them, to make them so proud that they've served. Lord, we thank you for servants. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Without objection, we'll suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of the members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for the adoption of our minutes from our October 15th meeting? We have a motion and a second. Without objection, the minutes will stand approved as written. Madam Clerk, are there any messages from the mayor?
There are no messages from the mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Anthony Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
Rules and, I'm sorry, I'm back in the old year.
It's last year.
Member Megan Berry, my apologies.
Oh, go on, Councilman. Take it away.
He was ready to do it.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move approval for the notaries. Is that what you want?
Elections and confirmations.
Oh, those, you want to go with that first? Okay, fine. Elections and confirmations this evening. The Council Rules Committee met, and we can have the following individuals here with us this evening. For the Community Education Commission, the reappointment of Dr. Edward Hantel. The Sexually Orientated Business Licensing Board appointee, Mr. Bart Pickett. Stormwater Management Committee appointee, Ms. Anna Maddox. Transportation Licensing Commission reappointment, Mr. Kurt Wallen. The committee voted 6-4-0 against for approval, and I move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Please stand when I call your name and remain standing. Dr. Edward Hantel, Bart Pickett, Anna Maddox, Kurt Whalen. On behalf of the entire Metropolitan Council, thank you very much for your willingness to serve our great city. Thank you. Without objection, we are going to take one of our resolutions out of order. I'd like to take RS 2013-879 out of order. Is there any objection? This honors Anna Escobar for her outstanding service as Metropolitan Clerk. Councilmember Stein.
Madam Vice Mayor, members of the council, on this special and a little sad occasion, I would move passage of the resolution and, upon the second, request that the Vice Mayor read that resolution before the council.
We have a motion and a second. A committee report would be appropriate.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The committee voted to approve 6-4-0 against.
Thank you. Whereas on November the 15th, 2013, Anna Escobar will end her service as Metropolitan Clerk to become Deputy Director of the Tennessee Administrative Office of the Courts. And whereas Ms. Escobar is a graduate of St. Cecilia Academy and Vanderbilt University in Nashville, as well as a 1995 graduate of George Washington University Law School. And whereas after graduating from law school, Anna Escobar practiced criminal law for over 15 years in Nashville, serving as a prosecutor in the Office of the District Attorney, an assistant public defender in the Office of the Public Defender, and as a private criminal defense lawyer. And whereas on July the 5th, 2011, the Metropolitan Council approved Mayor Carl Dean's appointment of Anna Escobar as Metropolitan Clerk, thus becoming the first Hispanic woman to lead a Metro government department. And whereas in her work as Metropolitan Clerk, Anna has been instrumental in the overhaul of the Commercial Solicitations Licensing Program and in the development of the My City Academy program, which is an initiative of Mayor Carl Dean's New America Advisory Council designed to increase knowledge of Nashville's immigrant and refugee community regarding the operation of metropolitan government. And whereas, in addition to her professional accomplishments, Ms. Escobar is dedicated to public service work in Nashville, having served on the Metropolitan Planning Commission, the Davidson County Election Commission, the Tennessee Judicial Nominating Commission, the Nashville Bar Association Board of Directors, and the Board of Directors for Hands on Nashville, among others. And whereas, while the entire council is sad to see Anna Escobar leave the position of Metropolitan Clerk, the entire council desires to congratulate her on her service to metropolitan government and wishes her well in her new position. Councilmember Stein.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. With us this evening are a number of the members of Anna's family and friends, and if you all would please stand up so that we can recognize you as well. And thank you for your support of our friend and her job. If you know her or if you're related to her, stand on up. Come on. Anna, we are all grateful for your hard work, for your conscientiousness, for your willingness to help us the many times that we need it, for your dedication to new Americans and to young people, for your friendship. We will miss you greatly, but we all wish you so much and so much good fortune as you move forward, and we expect you not to be a stranger around here. Thank you for all you've done.
We have a motion and a second.
I started to ask for a machine vote, and it would only be fitting if it didn't work, but since it might not work, we won't do that because we're not all here, and we want it to be unanimous. I renew my motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Madam Clerk, would you like to say anything?
My screen is crashing.
I want to thank all of you and Mayor Dean for having the confidence in me to step up and fill the shoes of Marilyn Swing. As you all know, those were big shoes to fill, and I still continue to try to live up to her. I really want to thank you for this opportunity, and I want to thank the council office and the mayor's office. We have collaborated, they have taught me, and I've just had a wonderful time learning about council procedure in Metro Nashville. And I especially want to thank the staff at the Metro Clerk's office, Vicki Long and Joni Martin, Reed Williams, and Austin Kyle. But I especially want to thank the right hand, a good friend. None of us can live without her, Marlene Fuller, who embraced me. They've embraced me, they've taught me so much, and I can assure you their work ethic is amazing, and they give their all to Nashville. I want to thank y'all for giving me a front row seat to just some wonderful historic events in the last 2 years, the opening of the Convention Center, the 50th anniversary, and of course the great chicken debate that I enjoyed. But thank you, it was an honor serving all of you, and it's been an honor serving Davidson County, so thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to bills on public hearing. First is BL 2013-560, changes .44 acres from RM40 to SP zoning for properties located at 1708 and 1710 19th Avenue South to permit up to 36 residential units. Councilmember Berkeley Allen.
Move to open the public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, does anyone in support wish to speak? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Allen.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-561 changes 1.1 acres from R10 to SP zoning for properties located at 4115, 4117, and 4119 Lone Oak Road to permit up to 8 detached residential units. Councilmember McGuire.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd move to open the public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, does anyone in support wish to speak? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember McGuire.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-562 changes 7.2 acres from R40 to SP zoning for property located at 6015 Cloverland Drive and a portion of property located at 6021 Cloverland Drive to permit up to 25 detached single-family residential dwelling units. Councilmember Banks.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'll move to open public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Anyone in support wishing to speak, please come to the lectern. State your name and your address.
Joe Epps with Anderson, Delk Epps and Associates. We represent the project. We want to thank the councilman for having a couple of public hearings and public meetings out in his district. We went with the Planning Commission and that we deferred this project one time to try to make some changes to meet some of the requirements in the community and also some of the Planning Commission requirements. And we just seek your approval of this bill. Thank you.
Anyone else in support wishing to speak? Anyone in opposition wishing to speak, please come to the lectern. State your name and address, please.
Good evening, I'm Guy Ritchie. This is James Walker. We are board members of the Homeowners Association at Sterling Oaks, which is a subdivision located directly across from this proposed development. We're not here necessarily to oppose the whole concept in its entirety, but rather just in hopes of getting a couple of questions answered that we've not been able to get answered previously. Specifically, we've asked, via Brady and directly to the developer Beazer Homes to address questions of, what size homes are going to be going in here, what price point are the homes going to be, and what's going to be done. We have an intersection currently that is awkward at best and dangerous, and this development is going to tie directly into this intersection. So we've asked to get some clarification on specifically what's going to be done to this intersection, not only to handle the additional traffic flow, which is of somewhat of a concern, but even more so to what's going to be done to address the safety issue that currently exists. And as regards the first question of home sizes, we were first told, between 2,000 and 3,500 square feet. We were then told more than 2,000 square feet. We're now being told not less than 2,000 square feet. When I've asked the question about price point, the reply has been, we don't know, but we're going to try to have a product that is what the market is most wanting at the time that these houses are actually ready to go on the market. Which, by my way of thinking, is kind of like saying we want to wait till the last minute and make a decision that's best for our bottom line. And I understand that, but I don't necessarily believe that that's in the best interest of the surrounding neighborhoods, ours specifically. And so what we want is some sort of a commitment from Beazer in terms of what are these homes going to be in terms of size and price. Commit something to us so that we know whether we want to fully oppose the concept or not. And then lastly, like I say, as far as the traffic planning, what I've been told is that as the process gets a little bit further along, they'll be working with Public Works to do what Public Works demands of them. And not knowing what that is, it's hard for us to know whether we, again, want to strongly oppose the development or not. We would like to have some commitment that this intersection is going to be improved from a safety standpoint, and we can't seem to get it. So those are I think the three most pressing issues with us as it relates to this potential development.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
My name is James Walker. I'm at 136 Sterling Oaks Court. And in addition to what Guy has said, as this development is going around a school, the traffic is rather dangerous. The increased car, or visits as it's called, would, if the intersection is not improved, would present more of a danger. And so that goes along with what you said with the Public Works and how that is to be improved. Thank you. Thank you.
Seeing no one else wishing to speak, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Banks.
I'd like to move approval with a brief explanation.
I have a motion and a second. Councilman.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you, everybody who came here to speak in favor of this proposal and also against. I appreciate you all being a part of the process. We did have 2 public meetings prior to tonight's public hearing. Those were attended by folks in the community. So I think that we've addressed a number of the concerns that you've heard here tonight. I also think the Planning Department, the Planning Staff, and the Planning Commission has approved with a number of conditions that will I think, take care of some of those concerns that Mr. Ritchie spoke about in particular, given the traffic intersection. And then there were also some visibility issues that we talked about that the Sterling Oaks HOA was concerned about. So I do think we've done our homework on this one. I do think it will work well for this particular piece of land, and I hope that you will vote for approval. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Tenpenny?
I just have a question for you, Brady. On this bill, has Traffic and Parking done a study yet on this? And considering the school around there, what's going on as far as that goes?
As far as I know, they'll do the studies that are necessary for the intersection. That is something that was addressed during the planning department staff's process. So I think that's something that we could certainly speak to if planning would be so interested in doing that.
This is approval of the concept plan, and the next step in the process is a full set of construction plans. The developer will be required to work with Public Works on all necessary improvements.
So is this something we'll get before third reading?
No, the concept is actually approved before the developer goes out and spends a certain amount of money on full engineered documents, and that's what it requires to do those types of determinations for the intersection.
Okay, well, I'm kind of concerned with Public Works and with the traffic and parking of that area over there with this 25 single-family detached going in over there, and I'd just like to see what's going on with it. Thank you.
Councilmember Blaylock?
Is there a member of the Beazer development here tonight?
There are multiple representatives, I believe.
Okay. Could you stand for us? Okay, great. Thank you. I was just wondering, do they have a close price point?
Again, the price point's not something I think Metro's necessarily concerned with. Beazer, of course, has what they would offer up, and they've explained that in a number of community meetings that we've had. So.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
And this will go to our committee, so there'll be another opportunity for discussion and getting the answers to these questions. Councilmember Johnson?
Will there be another opportunity for the residents to meet with Public Works and the developer before third reading?
I have not scheduled one. I'm not even sure if it's necessary, given that we've had 2 public meetings already.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-563 changes .21 acres from CN to R6 zoning for property located at 5516 Kentucky Avenue. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Open for public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, does anyone in support wish to speak? Please come to the lectern and state your name and address, please. Try again.
Excuse me. My name is Raleigh Hunt. I run a small market next to the lot. They want to be rezoned. And I'd like to tell a small story that happened years ago. We had a family move across the street from Algeria. No one could speak English except for the oldest son, who was 12. The oldest son would come to the store and bring 5 pennies to get a nickel. The next day, he came with 5 more pennies and a nickel to get a dime. The next day, he came with 5 more pennies to get a dime and a nickel. Then he raised to where he could get a quarter. And as he raised it up to $1, he made it up to $5. Then he got it up to 10, then to 20, and one day he wanted a 50. And then he raised it up to 100. but his family could speak no English but him. And this is our kind of neighborhood we have here, and we really would appreciate some more people to move in. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else wishing to speak, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I move approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-564 changes 2.45 acres from AR2A to RS10 zoning for a portion of properties located at 7986 Macquarie Lane and Macquarie Lane unnumbered north of Newsom Station Road. Councilmember Mitchell.
Yeah, I move to open the public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, would you like to speak in support? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Mitchell.
Move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-565 changes 11.18 acres from IWD to MUG zoning for property located at Vantage Way, unnumbered, east of French Landing Way. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one in opposition, would anyone in support wish to speak? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you. I'd like to move for approval with a brief explanation.
We have a motion and a second. Councilmember.
Thank you. As you know, all of Nashville is growing by leaps and bounds, and Metro Center is no exception. And this is an opportunity for Metro Center to grow in a more diverse and multi-use way. For the first time, we're going to have residents with the passage of this bill. And so I think this is something positive for that area, and I'd like to move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
Thank you.
Motion passes. BL 2013-566 changes .68 acres from one SP to another SP district for property located at 4601 Gallatin Pike to permit 3,200 square foot bank and all other uses and standards of an MULA district in case of redevelopment of the site. Councilmember Bennett.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Open a public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing none on either side, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Bennett.
Move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-567 amends the Metro zoning code pertaining to alternative zoning districts and landscape buffer yard requirements. Councilmember Hunt.
Open the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing none on either side, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Hunt.
Move for approval, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-568 amends the Metro zoning code to prohibit LED message boards and digital display signs within the MUI, MUIA, ORI, and MHP zoning districts. Councilmember Allen.
Open the public hearing, please.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Thank you. Anyone in support wishing to speak, please come to the lectern. Anyone in opposition wishing to speak, please come to the lectern and state your name and address, please.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I'm John Sanders, and I'm representing the owners of the property at 1615 Broadway at the Broadway West End split. We have a billboard that has been there for many decades. We've been told by the planning office staff over the years that our property and our sign are an icon of Midtown. We have been working on plans to alter this board to a digital LED board. Our intention is to have an attractive signage that can enhance our ability to advertise Nashville industry. Our advertiser for several years has been CMT, Country Music Television, and we hope to continue to be able, in an enhanced way, to promote Nashville industry and cultural institutions. This bill of Councilman Allen's has caught us before our plans have been fully developed, and so we have not explained them adequately or had an opportunity to present them to the planning staff and others. We've met many of you tonight and previously and hope to have the opportunity to further discuss our plans to see if there's an accommodation that can be reached between the intentions of the council and the city authorities and our hopes for our billboard. So thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you. Seeing no one else wishing to speak, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Allen.
I'd like to move for approval with a brief explanation.
We have a motion and a second. Councilmember.
This came about basically because the BZA realized that there was a hole in our current zoning code sign ordinance that did not deal with MUI and ORI with regards to LED signs. All of the other zoning districts are either in one category or another, and for whatever reason, there was no guidance whatsoever on where MUI should fall in ORI. Currently, the existing code has restrictions, but allows LED signs in the very intense commercial districts and in the industrial districts and the very intense shopping center districts. Those restrictions are an 8-second static time, and it has to change immediately, and there are some height restrictions. And it has to be no closer than 100 feet to residentially zoned property. The other category covers agricultural, residential, mixed use of almost all kinds, except the ones that were left out, and office and OR, as well as the smaller kinds of commercial and shopping. And in those areas, LED signs are prohibited outright. So when this was brought to my attention, I looked at the zoning categories and said, well, all of the other mixed use and OR is in the area where it's prohibited, and that is the bill that's before you today. The reason that it's prohibited in those areas is that we've heard very strongly and repeatedly that people think LED signs are great where they shop and do their business, but they don't want to go home to them. So the basic divide is residential versus intense commercial. Mixed use is sort of a mixed bag there, and intense mixed use is sort of the most funny mix of all of those. I've had some discussions with this owner and some other property owners that have spoken to me where they have commercial uses with no residential whatsoever in their mixed use and have said, could that be treated as a purely commercial use? I think in a good policy way, I would offer an amendment that would, in areas that are mixed use with no residential, that it would go in this category with the caveat that you cannot have LED signs within 100 feet of residential use, which would be consistent with how we are treating the high commercial. In a mixed-use area that does have residential, it would therefore still be prohibited. That, I think, covers the spirit of the law, which is people have said they don't want it near where they're sleeping, but they think it's appropriate in highly commercial areas. So with that explanation, I will probably be working with Mr. Cooper on an amendment to refine that to some degree, but I would ask for your approval tonight.
We have a motion and a second. Councilmember Holloman.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I just want to ask the Plan Department, I know that we have a fairly new sub-area plan for Midtown, and that is a fairly prominent sign. Is there any commentary in the community plan regarding that sign and whether it would be appropriate for conversion?
I don't recall any specific commentary as to that sign and its conversion to LED.
What about a different zoning category that would be compatible with an LED sign? Do you know if is an upzoning permitted under under that sub-area plan for that particular property?
Again, without having the sub-area plan here in front of me to look at that parcel to see what the plan calls for, I couldn't tell you how it could be rezoned. And I hope with some sort of deferral maybe so that we are even time between now and then we get a chance to sit down and speak with codes, because I also want to look at how that would actually work logistically when you're looking at uses as actually as opposed to zoning, and how they would be able to look at that parcel and make a determination, not just that parcel, any parcel in Davidson County, and make the determination about how the properties around there are being used.
Well, that's really my question, and I just wanted to encourage that, but also before we got too far down the road, I'd like to know whether that's even consistent with what the community plan offers for that area.
We'll look at the policy and notify the council.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Maynard.
Councilman Holloman asked my question.
Okay. Seeing no further, Councilmember Langster.
Thank you. Just a quick question, Mr. Sloan. Not only Midtown, you're going to be looking countywide how this will be produced and used.
Yes, ma'am, because as the council lady explained, that it would apply countywide to any properties that were zoned MUIA or not ORIA. But it'll apply to all of those. And so we will take a look at how it would affect the entire county.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Glover.
Mr. Sloan, I think you said the key word just now, maybe asking for a deferral. Mr. Cooper, I don't know what would be proper to defer this one meeting for us to come back, because I'd like to know more. Because a lot of times there could be unintended consequences for our city and for the businesses that operate in our city. And so I just would throw that out, and if I need to make the motion, we defer for one meeting and come back, and that way we've got a little more information. Thank you.
Is that a motion?
Is that a motion? We have a motion and a second for a deferral. Councilmember Stein.
This is amendable on third reading, is it not? Okay, thanks.
We have a motion and a second on deferral. Councilmember Allen, you wish to speak?
I would just say that I will be working with planning to do this, and we've talked about this ahead of time. I think we can do this within the time that's allotted. I would, unless Doug thinks that we do need more time, I would prefer to move forward if...
I think we can certainly get together before third reading and
I'm happy to have you join in.
We meet with Bill Herbert also and talk about how it would be applied, and we can do that certainly before third reading and report back to council. I assume that it'll go to the committee and we can speak.
It will go to the committee.
And it will go to committee for the discussion as well.
We have a motion and a second on a one-meeting deferral. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. No. The motion to defer fails. We're back on the original motion. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Next, we are at BL 2013-569, amends the Metro Zoning Code pertaining to the conditions applicable to certain automobile-related uses. Councilmember Bedning.
I move to open the public hearing.
Please raise your hand if you're in support. Please raise your hand if you're in opposition. Seeing no one on either side, I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Bedning.
I move to defer this legislation to the first meeting in January.
We have a motion and a second to defer to the first meeting in January. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
Thank you.
The deferral motion passes. We're now to the point of resolutions, consent resolutions on our agenda. I will read the ones that are on consent, and you can let me know if there are any that need to be pulled. On consent, we have 880, 882, 883, 885 through 8900, and then 902. The first one, RS 2013-880, appropriate certain 2013 community block grant funds. 882 approves a grant agreement from the Tennessee Commission on Children and Youth to the Mayor's Office of Children and Youth to implement an after-school reading program. 883 authorizes the acquisition of property located at 5748 Pettus Road to be used as part of the Mill Creek Greenway system. 885 authorizes the acquisition of 3 flood-impacted properties located on Antioch Pike and Beach Bend Drive to be used as parkland. 886 approves an application for the 2013 Homeland Security Grant from the State Tennessee Emergency Management Agency to the Metropolitan Government. 887 approves a grant from the U.S. Department of Justice to the Metro Police Department for the Gang-Resistant Education and Training Program. 888 approves a clinical affiliation agreement between Volunteer State Community College and the Nashville Fire Department for clinical training of students enrolled in the Emergency Medical Technician Program of the institution. 889 approves a resident training agreement between Metropolitan Board of Health and Meharry Medical College to provide a wide range of clinical experiences to students. 889 approves 2 amendments to a federal grant to the Metro Board of Health for the Healthy Start Home Visiting Program. 891 approves a grant from the State Department of Health to the Metro Board of Health for sexually transmitted disease services and HIV/AIDS prevention and surveillance. 892 amends BL 2013-534 to add the abandonment of 158 feet of an existing sewer easement that was retained under 097925 for various properties located along Cartwright Street and Charlotte Avenue. 893 authorizes Buckingham Management, LLC, to construct and install an area encroachment at alley number 447 20th Avenue South and 21st Avenue South. 894 authorizes F&H Acquisition Corporation Tent Restaurant Operations, Inc., to construct and install an area encroachment at 408 Broadway for Bailey Sports Grill. 895 authorizes the Department of Law to settle the personal injury claim of Edward Swafford against Metro Government in the amount of $17,844.64. 896 authorizes the Department of Law to settle the personal injury claims of Jacqueline and Marvin Winnett against Metro Government in the amount of $51,225. 897 approves the election of certain notaries public for Davidson County. 898 recognizes Don Klein, Chief Executive Officer for the Greater Nashville Association of Realtors, on the occasion of his retirement. 899 recognizes Carrie Dunney on the being selected as the Metro Nashville Public Schools 2013-2014 Teacher of the Year representative from Una Elementary. RS 2013-900 recognize Kimberly Gipper on being selected the Metro Nashville Public Schools 2013 Teacher of the Year representative from Lakeview Elementary Design Center. And 902 recognizes those associated with the Smith Springs Water Main Project. Do any of these need to be pulled? Seeing none, I will need committee reports. Councilmember Stein.
Budget and Finance approved 880, 882, 883, 885, 886, 887, 891, 895, and 896 unanimously.
Thank you. Councilmember Langster.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Federal Grants Review passed ordinance 88054, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Maynard.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Health and Hospitals approved 889, 890, 891, 840 against.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Tiger.
Parks, Library, Recreation, and Public Entertainment Facility Committee approved 883 and 885, 4-0.
Thank you, Councilman Tiger. Councilmember Hunt.
Thank you, Madam President. Planning, Zoning, and Historic Committee passed 883, 884, 885, 892, 893, 894, 572, 573, 574, 575, 8 and 0.
Thank you, Councilman Hunt. Councilman Perdue.
Public Safety approved 886, 887, 888, all three 5-0.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilmember Bennett.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Works approved 892, 893, and 894, 640 against.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Barry.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Rules and Confirmations approved 897, 898, 899, 900, and 902 by 740 against, and I move approval of all of the bills. Yes?
Yes. We have a motion and a second for all bills on the consent agenda. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We'll now go back to those that are not on the consent agenda. First is RS 2013-881, appropriates $25,000 from the Reserve for Community Garden Program grant program account to various schools and nonprofit organizations for community garden programs. Councilmember Stein.
Budget and Finance approved 6-4, 1 not voting, and I move its approval.
Have a motion and a second. Councilmember Tiger.
As a board member and active volunteer at one of the school gardens receiving a grant, I need to abstain on this bill.
So noted. Councilmember Weiner.
Thank you. As a member of the Exchange Club, I need to abstain as well.
So noted. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. RS 2013-884 authorizes the acquisition of 72.14 acres of property on West Hamilton Road along Whites Creek to be used in the park system. Councilmember Stein.
Committee reports.
Councilmember Tiger.
Parks Committee approved the bill as amended, 4-0.
Councilmember Hunt.
84, committee report, please.
I need your committee report.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, 884 was approved, 8-0. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Councilmember Stein.
The amendment, I believe, is a housekeeping amendment, Mr. Cooper.
The amendment removes the requirement that the property be named the G.C. Garrett Park.
I would move the amendment.
We have a motion and a second, and your committee report.
I apologize. The committee voted to approve 7-4, none against, as amended.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the amendment. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The amendment passes. Councilman Stein.
I renew my motion to approve as amended.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. We're at Resolution 2013-901. Congratulates the Nashville Metropolitan Transit Authority Planning Director Jim McAteer and his team for securing federal Tiger Transportation Grant. Councilmember Johnson.
Committee report.
Councilmember Barry.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Rules and Confirmations voted 6-4, 1 not voting.
Councilmember.
Move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. That's all of them.
Yes.
Okay, we're now on bills on introduction and first reading. Do any of those need to be pulled? Seeing none, is there a motion for their approval? We have a motion and a second. All in favor of bills on introduction and first reading, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We're now at bills on second reading. First one is BL 2013-552, amends the Metro Code. Sorry, Councilmember Allen, I was coming back to you as soon as we finished that, and I forgot.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor.
Councilmember Berkeley Allen.
Thank you. I would like to recognize Troop 11, which is a Boy Scout troop from, if you guys will all stand up, please.
Please stand.
They are at Christ the King Church, and they are here working on their citizen badge.
Thank you, Councilmember Allen. BL 2013-552 amends the Metro Code pertaining to the parking of motor vehicles for sale on commercial property. Councilmember Harmon.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee report, please.
Councilmember Moore.
At the request of the sponsor, to defer one meeting. 7-4-0 against.
Thank you, Councilmember Harmon.
And in light of that committee report, I would move to defer one meeting, please.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor of the one meeting deferral, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-570 amends the Metro Code pertaining to the licensing of electricians. Councilmember Mitchell.
Yes, a committee report, please.
Councilmember Moore.
It was approved 7-4-0 against.
Councilmember Stein.
Budget and Finance approved as amended, 4-7 abstentions.
Thank you. Councilmember Mitchell.
Move approval with a brief explanation.
We have a motion and a second. Councilman Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally, we had a few questions in.
Councilman Mitchell, could you move your amendment first?
Okay, yeah, let's move the amendment.
We have a motion and a second on the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The amendment passes. Councilman Mitchell.
And basically, what the amendment did, it was to clarify a couple of concerns last night from Finance. I think Councilman Claiborne had a couple of things, and we just wanted to make sure in this amendment everything's spelled out. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, as I said in Finance, if you have a clog in your bathroom and you've got to call a plumber, it's going to be a licensed plumber that comes to your house, but you can have someone wire your home and they don't have to have a license, which is kind of scary. The guy who went to get the electrical permit, the owner of the company, now he's got a license, but he can hire 3 guys under him to send them out there to your house to work. What this is going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is correct that over time, unfortunately. So we can't be accused that we're putting anybody out of business, costing anybody their livelihood. We're grandfathering everybody in. We're giving, after passage of this, we're giving 180 days before this is enacted, to give everyone plenty of time to prepare for this. And, but like I said, everyone's going to be grandfathered in. For the concern last night for the handyman or anything, if it's not needed if an electrical permit is not needed, then they don't have to be licensed. So the guy coming in to fix a ceiling fan is not gonna, need it. The guy coming in to install the garage door, he's not gonna need it. One other thing, Director Cobb of Codes, he was concerned about the HVAC unit guys who just hook up those. They're out of it. So, we've got this pretty narrowed down to what we're trying to get, homeowners and wiring of your house or small projects that require a permit. That's what this is going to take care of. Over time, we're going to have a safer city for it, and I think this is a step in the right direction. And with that being said, I ask for your approval.
We have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Councilmember Bednick.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak in support of this legislation. I want to remind people that many of the house fires start with electrical work that has been done improperly, and this is going to make Nashville households safer. So thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-571 amends the Metro Code to create a process for the renewal of wrecker licenses. Councilmember Perdue.
I think there's an amendment in it, John. Yes. Would you explain that?
It's just a housekeeping amendment that corrects the name of the permit that can be renewed.
Thank you. And the bill itself is just also a housekeeping deal.
I need a couple of committee reports before you move the amendment. Councilmember Harrison.
Traffic and Parking approved 4 and 0 against.
Councilmember Stein.
Budget approved, 11 for, none against, as amended.
Councilmember Purdue.
I move the amendment.
We have a motion and a second on the amendment. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The amendment passes. Councilmember Purdue.
I move the bill as amended.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-572 approves an agreement between Metro and Rogers Welch Venture, Inc. for the lease parking spaces in Metro parking garage located at 151 6th Avenue North. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Hunt.
Planning, Zoning, and Historical approved, 8-4-0 against.
Thank you, Councilmember Stein.
Budget and Finance approved, 11 for, none against, as amended.
Thank you, Councilmember Gilmore.
Move for approval. And then also need to move the amendment.
We have a motion
Thank
and a
you.
second on the amendment. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The amendment passes.
All right, move for approval.
We have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-573 authorizes the Director of Public Property to record a quitclaim deed for the Tennessee Processing Center, LLC, to Metro Government for property located at 2604 Brick Church Pike for a Metro water project. Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Bennett.
Public Works approved 6-4-0 against.
Councilmember Hunt.
Planning, Zoning, and Historical approved, 8-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Harrison.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-574 authorizes Metro Government to accept permanent and temporary easements for the Birch Bark Drive Stormwater Improvement Project for properties located at 7128 Birch Bark Drive and 0 Hicks Road. Councilmember Weiner.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Bennett.
Public Works approved 6-4, none against.
Councilmember Hunt.
Planning, Zoning, and Historical passed, 5-7-4, 8-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Weiner.
Move approval, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-575 authorizes Metro Government to abandon approximately 160 linear feet of an existing 8-inch public sewer main and easements and to accept approximately 373 linear feet of an 8-inch public sewer main and easement for properties located at 1726 and 1729 Hyman Street. Councilmember Langster.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Bennett.
Public Works approved 7-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Hunt.
Planning, Zoning, and Historical approved, 8-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Langster.
Move for approval, please.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-526 amends the Metro Code pertaining to the treatment of accidental injuries arising out of and in the course of employment. Councilmember Stein.
Having all committees reported, I would move approval.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-527 approves an amendment to the Metro Code to authorize the establishment of an in-line of duty clinic. Councilmember Stein.
Move its approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Without objection, we can take 540 and 541 together. BL 2013-540 cancels .32 acres of the residential plan unit development overlay district located at Wedgwood Avenue unnumbered east of 12th Avenue South. 541 changes .32 acres from RM20 to RM20A zoning for property located at Wedgewood Avenue unnumbered, east of 12th Avenue South. Councilmember Moore.
Without committee report 10, I move for approval, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-546 approves a lease agreement between the Metropolitan Government and the Christine P. Nall Living Trust for the building located at 339 21st Avenue North to be used for an injury on duty medical clinic. Councilmember Stein.
Move its approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-550 approves an amendment to the Metro Code pertaining to earnings while an employee is on in-line of duty injury leave and pension calculations. Councilmember Stein.
Move approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-551 amends Metro Code by adding the ability of zones to be created for horse-drawn carriages and by delegating duties to the staff of the Traffic and Parking Commission. Councilmember Perdue.
Yes, ma'am, this is also a housekeeping deal. I just move for passage, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say Councilmember Gilmore.
Yeah, I just had a quick question, and maybe Mr. Cooper can explain it. The question is, what's the difference between what the carriages have now, the horse-drawn carriages, and what they're moving to? It was my understanding they already had a particular route that they had to take.
Right. Currently, they must follow a set route that's approved by the commission. This bill would allow them to, or allow the Traffic and Parking Commission to set zones that they could operate in, so they wouldn't be limited to a fixed route, but they could go around on all of the streets within a particular zone.
Thank you.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-553 declares surplus and approves the disposition of a portion of the McMurray Middle School property located at 520 McMurray Drive. Councilmember Blaylock.
Move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-554 declares surplus and approves the disposition of the 222 building located at 222 3rd Avenue North. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move for approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-555 approves a lease agreement between Metro Government and the Parkway Towers LLC for office space at Parkway Towers located at 404 James Robertson Parkway. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-556 approves a vacant property exchange with the Metro-Nashville Airport Authority for the purpose of acquiring land for greenway and other recreational uses. Councilmember Stein.
Move approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-557 approves an agreement among the Public Defender's Office, UCLA School of Law, and Gideon's Promise for a law school partnership project. Councilmember Stein.
Move approval.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. I think we still have a quorum. BL 2013-558 authorizes the Metro Arts Commission to accept the donation of a mosaic sculpture from the Oasis Center. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I want to move for approval with brief comments.
Have a motion and a second. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Once again, I just wanted to thank Councilmember Stein for all of the work that he did on this. He allowed me to be the sponsor, but he did the work, and I appreciate him making sure that we could assume this artwork for the Edmondson community, and it's going to be a wonderful addition to the community. And I like the idea, we always talk about art and maybe art not going into certain districts, but I really appreciate you advocating for this particular area, and I think the people will really appreciate it and just your know-how. So I just wanted to thank him for that publicly and move for approval once again.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2013-559 designates Lyle Avenue between West End Avenue and Division Street as Mario Ferrari Way. Councilmember Stein.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Back at you, Council Lady Gilmore. Thank you. Move approval on 559.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor, please say aye.
That broken piece goes on the belt.